Allblox Battles is a Battlegrounds type game mode where you're going to have 3 main abilities and you're tasked with the grand job of killing other players. I know, riveting, groundbreaking gameplay, but despite its simple premise, this game actually has a lot more than it leads onto, and there's a whole hidden layer of strategy and nuance that I wasn't expecting. So with all that being said, welcome to our second installment of Row Review, the series where we explore various different Roblox games and talk about their different aspects like their gameplay, graphics, monetization, and we give our opinions on them to determine whether it's worth it or not for you guys to try out the game. So with all that being said, let's get right into this review. So, gameplay. How fun is this game to play? How are the mechanics? Is the game engaging, replayable, all that good stuff? Well, let's take it step by step. The mechanics of this game are very inconsistent, I want to say. If you're looking at this background footage, you really have no way of predicting which way the enemy's going to get knocked back to. I mean, sure, if you smack them and you're hitting them in a certain direction, they're going to go that way, but there are other times where I'll try to hit them in a different direction, but they'll just go the opposite way. Or if you're watching the video right now, I died because I was ragdolled for like 10 years, but sometimes you can unragdoll really quickly, so yeah. In terms of mechanics, the game's fun to play, but don't expect any competitive tournament style type gameplay from this because you are not going to get that at all. And is the game fun and engaging? I honestly think this is one of its strong suits. Like, just running around in the absolute chaos that this game is, smacking people, using power-ups, getting kills, getting kill streaks is really the highlight that this game has to offer, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. And how replayable is the game? Well, I actually got a lot more footage than I needed to for this video because I was just having so much fun playing the game. Like, I have like 2 hours of footage for this video because every single time that I started editing, I told myself, let me get some more footage. When in reality, I just wanted to play the game more, so I ended up with a lot more footage than I needed. But yeah, in terms of replayability, I do think the game is very replayable. They have a solid progression system in the form of grinding out coins to get new abilities and power-ups. And you can also grind to be on the leaderboard, but no one has time for that. I know I don't. Still, it is pretty replayable if you just want to get more things, get better at the game. Albeit getting better, I say that with a pinch of salt because they're really, like, the skill curve for this game is not very high, nor is the skill ceiling, because once you learn how to spam your moves and hit people at the right time, that's really all the skill there is to it. And there's like little text that you can do where if you're rolling, you can also move stack some of your powers while you're rolling so they're easier to hit. Or you can find out which attacks are cancelable, because sometimes if you use your melee weapon, you can cancel a lot of projectiles, you can cancel people's rolling, and that's also a little thing that takes some extra skill to get good at. So, sure, there is some type of skill to this game, but I really don't think it's anything crazy, and it's nothing that you can't learn within your first 20 minutes of playing. I'd say that I got pretty solid at the game, and I played it all of maybe 10 minutes before I figured out how to actually play it well. So yeah, it's definitely replayable. The mechanics aren't anything crazy, and in times they're inconsistent, but that also ties into the engagement of the game. I feel like that's what makes it fun. It's a fun party game to play with friends, and it doesn't take itself seriously in the slightest. So with all that being said, let's move into our second area of criteria, and that's graphics. The graphics in this game are nothing too crazy. In terms of visual quality, the game is somewhat visually appealing. It's pretty fun to look at your little swing animation with the VFX, and it is satisfying to get more coins every single time you hit someone or you kill someone. I really think that in terms of visuals, the game does its best when you get a kill streak. I don't know if it's going to show in the video. I'm hoping it does if you guys are watching the background footage. If you go on a high kill streak and you kill 5 or more people, you get a big 5 on top of your character. You have like little golden wings coming out of you just so people know that you have a kill streak and they can target you. Which, it looks pretty cool, and it's a nice little reward for getting a somewhat high kill streak. That's probably as far as the game goes in terms of visuals. And is the art style consistent and appropriate for the game theme? I mean, it is. I can't complain about the art style, albeit there's not much of an art style there. It's more so 2016, 2015 type Roblox, where, you know, it's just your characters, you have some weapons, and it is fitting to the game theme, which is just, you know, fighting other people. It doesn't really clash with the ideas that the game is trying to present to you. And are the animations smooth and fitting for the actions they represent? Yeah, I'd say so. Something that I will say is this game's hitboxes and animations are very, very consistent. I felt like every single time that I was hitting someone, it was for the right reason. I didn't feel like any of it was luck. And I felt when someone else hit me, I could tell that it was because, you know, I got hit by that. I didn't feel like it was BS or I couldn't see it coming, because I clearly could. So for animations, that's also something that I say that they actually did surprisingly well on. With all that being said, let's move into our very last category of criteria, and that's monetization. Now, monetization is kind of a touchy subject with this game, because I can't in good conscience tell you that this game isn't pay to win, because it just outright is. There's a bunch of game passes, like, you know, double coins, double rewards, double monthly coin rewards, like basically a bunch of game passes that make you progress way faster, let you get coins way faster, which in turn let you get all the super cool, stronger weapons a lot faster. And that's another thing that I want to talk about. Some weapons are definitely better than others. You know, there's late game abilities that cost tens of thousands, not tens of thousands, but like 9k, 10k coins, upwards of that. And those are just outright better than the abilities that you start with. They're easier to get kills with, they're more brain dead to use, they don't require as much brain usage to get mileage out of them. So the game is definitely pay to win. If you're looking at this clip right now, you saw me get like absolutely cucked by that dude's giant hammer. That's one of the late game abilities, right? Where he just whips out a hammer that has triple my M1 range, and he can M1 stun me, so there's nothing I can do about it, and then I just die. So yeah, in terms of monetization, the game definitely is pay to win, and they cater to the people that spend more money on their game, which is understandable since I know the devs want to make money, but there are points where it gets a little bit egregious, the level of monetization that this game strives to get. Because as soon as you're in the lobby, you have a giant 2x base coin thing covering up a chunk of your screen, and I clicked on it because I thought, oh, okay, maybe that means that I have coins. I have double coins, right? Wrong. You click on it and it gives you an option to buy the double coins game pass, which I found a little bit annoying. I'd also find myself getting internally frustrated when I died to BS abilities that were just outright better than the stuff that I had access to. Like, you know, I'm using the same example again, that big hammer that you guys saw, where he just, you know, clicked the mouse 3 times and I died. There was nothing I can do about it. There was no counterplay to that. I will say this, the abilities that are like more free-to-play friendly, the ones that you spawn with, or the ones that are really easy to get, are very, very good too, right? Most of the abilities in this game have a use, and if you know how to play the game and you know how to use them well, you will get a lot of good use out of them. The loadout that you guys see me using in the background footage, where I was, you know, doing pretty well, I had like a streak of 5 or 6, I don't know, but I was getting kills, right? The loadout that you guys see me using is all starter stuff. It took me not even 5 minutes of playing the game to unlock the things that I got. So that also goes to show that this game isn't completely pay to win. Yes, there's a big pay to win aspect to it, but if you're a free to play player who knows what they're doing and knows how the abilities work, you'll be able to, you know, compete just fine with the people that have really good abilities. It's just going to be easier for them to get kills than it is for you. You know, you're going to have to be a little more strategical and plan it a little bit better, whereas the people with pay to win abilities can just press one button and half the time they're just going to get some free kills. Something else that I didn't really appreciate is the fact that they have a limited time event, right? Where it's a slot machine, it's gambling. You guys can see it on the screen. It's just you spin a wheel and you can get a random amount of rewards, and the big grand reward is an ability called the green katana, or the green tornado, whatever you want to call it. You need 1,000 of the little currency thingies that the wheel provides, and 9 times out of 10 you're only going to get 5 or 10 of the currency things, and you need to pay 1,000 coins if you want to roll on the spinning wheel again. Which 1,000 coins is nothing to scoff at. That takes a good amount of time to get, and it's not really something you can just bang out over and over and over and over again. So what's the alternative? Well, you can always just buy more spins, because that's exactly what they want you to do. That's how they designed the event system, which I also think is a little bit unfortunate, because yes, you're giving free-to-play players the ability to grind for the cool new ability, which is really, really good. It's super brain dead. You turn into a giant green tornado, and anything that touches you just gets immediately sucked in and launched in the air. And if you're near a ledge, then you're cooked, because you're just guaranteed to die. Something else that I will say about the monetization in this game is that you can buy currency. Obviously, you can buy coins for Robux, you can buy the VIP game passes, you can buy the 2x coin game passes. And it does have some non-free-to-play game passes. You can buy like more emotes or more emote slots. You can buy cosmetic things too, so it's not all pay to win. But in terms of monetization, I really think this is where the game, this is where I dislike it the most, is what I'm gonna say. Because the game is fun, the gameplay is fun, but the fact that they're just really trying to wring out as much money out of you as possible kind of annoys me, especially since it's a multiplayer game where the abilities that you have are directly linked to how good your performance is gonna be, or at least how easy it's gonna be to get kills, right? If you're a good player, like I alluded to before, you'll be fine. But having the really, really good abilities certainly helps. With all that being said, let's move into our closing thoughts. So, what are my closing thoughts on this game? Do I think the game is worth it for you guys to play? Well, despite its faults, despite the fact that it's not the most advanced looking game, it's definitely not the most complex either, I'll say that it's definitely a fun little time waster to hop on, play with some friends, and just, try out the game. So do I think it's worth it or not for you guys to play? Yeah, I'd definitely say to give it a try. This is similar to the last game that I reviewed, where it's pretty low investment time game. You're not going to need to dump hours and hours before you start having fun or see any type of meaningful progress. It's just a fun little party game, very Battlegrounds type game with some maps. I feel like the map in general, just the whole aesthetic of the main map, it's also the only map, it's really reminiscent of old Roblox, with just the base plates being different colors and the little buildings everywhere. I personally really like it. It just gives me that little bit of nostalgia. But yeah, the only bad things that I can really say about this game are that the scummy monetization practices do get a little old, and at times they can just outright ruin the game for you, because you're going to be getting, your cheeks spread by some dude that has a power-up 10 times better than yours, and there's really no counterplay to it, besides just sitting there and taking it. Obviously, there are some things that you can do right in this game. Your main way of getting around the map quickly is by rolling, so if your roll is off cooldown, you can always evade their attacks or try to wait for the cooldown on their attacks to go away, so then you can retaliate with your attacks. You can also try to get some power-ups that are scattered around the map that are pretty good, and you can use those to fight back. And you can also just use your abilities, because they are also pretty solid on their own. Just not as good as the super pay-to-win stuff. But with all that being said, that is going to be the end of Row Review. If you guys enjoyed this video, liked hearing me talk about the game, and want to see me make more of these, please like, sub, and comment, all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. That's it from me, so have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one.